Howdy folks, BelGeode here. We are on the floor of FlightSimExpo and we're in front of the Deadstick booth where I've got a few questions from some of you on Facebook that have tagged me in a post. I'm going to be asking developers your questions and I'm going to be making a finalized video. Just to give you a quick overview of where I am. This is what we have on display. We've got two computers set up for Deadstick, and of course all of their paraphernalia, so to speak, where you can find them online and whatnot. All right, so right now Mr. DeAndre from Air Daily X is taking a test flight. So as soon as he's done there, we will go ahead and ask our interview questions. So through the magic of editing, we're gonna cut to that right now. Alrighty folks, so I am here with Chris, who is the developer behind Deadstick, and I've been collecting all of your questions on Facebook, so I'm going to be asking him all the questions.
Sure.
But before we get to that, Chris, if you don't mind, give me a little bit of a background on Deadstick, how it came about, and what it's all about.
Okay,
basically.
sure. Okay, so yeah, my name's Chris. I'm the lead developer on Deadstick. Deadstick is a brand new flight simulator, and it's aimed at simulating the experience of being a pilot. So rather than just flying the planes, we want to give you the whole experience. In terms of the background, it's kind of a long story, but I'll talk you through the elements. I'm a game developer. I've been making games for the last 13 years for console, and I'm also a private pilot. I've been flying for about 8 or 9 years.
Nice.
And one of the things I found when I was getting my pilot's license was actually learning to fly the plane. In some ways, it's the easy bit. The hard bit is all the decisions that come along that you have to make. You know, worrying about your weight and balance, worrying about the weather.
Right.
You know, it's all those things that are going to get you into trouble. And I've always felt that that's never really been represented in other flight simulators. So I really wanted to try and create an experience that would focus on that. You know, on the human factors of psychology. So we tried to build a simulator which is focused around being a bush pilot. It's a sandbox, there's jobs that are available, and it's up to you to decide, you know, do you want to try scud running in low weather to make more money, or do you want to sit out for the day? The idea is you earn money and you can use that to upgrade the aircraft, so you can increase the performance, stick Tundra tires on, do more backcountry flying, that kind of thing, and also repair the aircraft as you go. So you're really trying to keep the thing alive.
So is it like a persistent thing? Is it whole world based, or?
So we're not trying to simulate the whole world. We just want to do a small area to a really high fidelity.
Okay.
So you know, there's other awesome flight sims out there that do a fantastic job of flying up high in the airliners. But I've always felt, you know, I love flying low and slow. And in those, when you tend to get down low, you lose some of the details. So it's just a factor of trying to do the whole world. It's big. You can't have that much detail.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we just want to do a small area to a really high fidelity where there's no photo textures, everything is 3D, every blade of grass, every rock, every vlog, and they're all obstacles that you have to avoid when you're flying around. So
that is awesome.
So the location itself is actually fictional, but drawing heavily from Alaska and Idaho.
Okay.
So we can then kind of sculpt it around the experience to make a challenging experience for people to enjoy. So.
Nice. I'm just going to skip through some of the questions here. I guess the first question that I have here is, will they be able to buy it direct from Steam?
Yes, we will be launching exclusively on Steam. Okay. The plan is to come out in early access at the end of this year. Once it's in early access, you'll have the single aircraft in here at the moment with the whole single player experience. We'll then look at VR and multiplayer, and then we'll look to add additional aircraft after that as well. So.
I see, you just got my attention with the VR. I've been a recent convert to VR since last year. Yeah. That's a major thing for me, so I'm glad to hear that.
VR completely changes the experience in this. You know, when you're flying through the clouds with no attitude indicator, it's terrifying.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'll vouch for that.
The challenge that we've got is the first-person element. So being able to walk around, you know, you can walk this way, look this way, trying to make sure players don't feel sick. So we wanted to spend time getting that right.
That makes sense.
That's why we're going to do that in early access. But yeah, VR is really important to us.
So what is our starting plane that we're going to be looking at there?
So the aircraft is it's one we've designed ourselves. It's called the Steed Aviation Stoll, and we've taken a lot of influence from the iconic bush planes. So if you look at it, there's a lot of influence from the Super Cub, the Aviat Husky, the Rans S7. So we've kind of tried to mold them together into something we think is going to be a fun platform for people to explore.
Nice.
And then yeah, once we're in early access, we'll then start to look at other aircraft as well. As I say, the focus is on bush flying. You know, personally, I really like the whole kind of more agricultural, quirky bush machines, things like the Wilga, Beaver Storch, the Beaver, the Twin Otter. That's the planes that excite me. But once we're in early access, we'll open it up to the community, see what people are interested in, and then start to add aircraft from there. So.
Yeah, I can almost guarantee you're probably going to get comments from a gentleman by the name of Sergio, who's in charge of HeliSimmer. He's probably going to ask you if helicopters are coming at some point in time.
We've already had a conversation. So.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Sergio, I come to Vegas and they already know you. Your reputation precedes you. What the...
No, so I do think, you know, with the visual fidelity that we're aiming for, it would be a great platform for helicopters. So we're having some discussions about that. We've got some plans up our sleeves. It's too early to promise anything yet, but yeah, we'll definitely keep it in mind.
And that actually brings to mind a good point. One of the questions that I have here is about porting over aircraft from other sims or, you know, third-party developer support. What are your plans as far as that?
I think porting it's going to be difficult for that ever to be a possibility because of the in-depth nature of the systems. We've also got a full real-time damage model that's working on the aircraft, so they have to be authored in a specific way.
That makes sense.
I think it would be difficult to port them, but at the same time we're really keen to open up the API so that people can play around. So Steam Workshop, allowing people to go crazy there.
Yes.
And also looking at third-party development. You know, we really want this to be a platform for people to have fun with and enjoy, and you know. My dream is that if on the Steam community want to make flying carpets or Concorde or anything crazy, they can do that. But yeah, we'll focus on the serious aircraft.
If we can avoid the airliners, that would be great.
Yeah, no intention for airliners myself, but yeah.
And I have another question here where they're asking if there's going to be like Australia Outback type maps, or you know, are there other bush places you're thinking of? One of the ones that comes to mind, which is one of my favorite places, is Papua New Guinea.
That was the first suggestion I was about to make. I love Papua, yeah. So flying Papua and porters, things like that, I'd love to do that.
Now, how many people do you actually have on the team working on this game?
So for the most part, it's been 2 developers, so I'm the lead programmer. We've got one artist, a fantastic artist who's done all the artwork you see. We've since got another programmer involved who's doing an excellent job. We've actually ripped out all of the terrain and vegetation system you see here with the streaming system, which runs much smoother. And we're on the lookout for an environment artist at the moment as well to really help shut that. So we've got 4 people plus our publishing team helping us out. So it's a very, very small team.
And I would imagine with everything being 3D, it's probably going to take a beefy computer. I could probably look up what the specs are for that, but do you have an idea of what people should be shooting for in their rig?
It's still open for debate because, as I say, we're redeveloping the whole streaming system for the terrain. One of the benefits of doing everything in 3D is that a lot of things can be scalable. They can be attached to sliders, like your 3D tree distance, your grass draw distance. So we want to try and make it as flexible as possible. I think, you know, it's always going to be kind of medium to high-end hardware just because of the nature of it, but we're going to try and make it as scalable as we can. So
excellent. Plus, with it being on Steam, I imagine that, you know, you've got the capability to just simply upgrade or update things on the fly.
Exactly, yeah. So that's why, you know, particularly, I think Steam's going to be really important to us for early access. We can get the community involved, we can quickly get updates out, engage with the community, see what they want, and take it from there. So
excellent. So you say that we're looking at possibly closer to the end of the year for,
that's right, yeah.
And that would be just early access.
Yes.
Do you have any idea of the pricing that you're going to have for it?
Not yet. We haven't decided internally yet, so it will be competitively priced. So yeah. That's
what I like to hear. All right, well, I think I went through all of my questions, so if there's anything else that you would like to impart on the viewers.
No, if you've got any other questions, keep them coming. Thanks for the support. And,
all right, well, listen, I really do appreciate you taking your time out of the day to help me out with this here. And I wish you all the best with this. I'm going to be keeping a very close eye, especially once you have VR involved in this as well. So this is going to be great. Thank you so much, Chris. It was my pleasure. And folks, there you have it, Deadstick. You all have been asking for it. There it is. So look for it on Steam close to the end of the year.
That's right, end of the year.
For early access. Alrighty folks, BelGeode signing out for now. I'll be back with some more really soon. Ciao.